Hello once again, my friends. I got another little goodie to share with you. Now, I recently did a video where I documented the history of the Swedish warship WASA, and I hope you enjoyed that video. I'll put the link in the description if you want to check it out. What I want to show you guys today is an upcoming project. It's actually a model kit of the WASA. Now, AIRFIX had done a model of the WASA back in the 90s, and they had brought it back. So this one was released in 2020, but it's basically the same from the 90s. It's a beautiful ship, absolutely beautiful ship. The WASA was launched on Sunday, and that would be August 27th, I believe, and that was 1628. And as she slipped into the harbor, she fired her cannons to salute the king, and she went a little further, and a gust of wind had tipped the ship over, and the cannon doors were open near the waterline, and as the ship listed to the port side, the water started spilling in, and unfortunately she sank. In the same harbor, in 1955, they were looking to construct a bridge, and they did a survey of the bottom of the harbor, and they found something they weren't sure of what it could be. After core samples would reveal later that it was actually a ship, and divers would go down and confirm it was the WASA herself. The amazing thing was it sank in 1628, and she was able to be brought back up because when she sank, the mud and the cold preserved her. The cold water and the mud and the silt fully covered her up. And I believe it was 1961 where she was brought back up. She was restored, and then in the 80s they had put her into the WASA Museum. They had since then redone the museum, and today you can go and see the WASA from 1628. Everything was in such good condition, as a matter of fact, that they were actually able to take the pieces from the crash site and put them back on the ship. So it's just totally amazing. So you can see the beautiful illustration of the ship on the box, and they're bringing back the vintage classics, and this is AIRFIX. I love that picture. This is one of the most ornate ships I've ever seen. Absolutely gorgeous. The reason she couldn't float was she was top heavy, and that was a problem, especially in high winds. Nobody was ever punished or held accountable for it because the design did go by the king and it was approved. So look out the box of the model on the WASA from AIRFIX. You can see the side of the box. In 1628, the WASA disastrously keeled over and sank in Stockholm Harbor at the start of its maiden voyage. It was one of 4 ships built at the time to strengthen the Swedish Navy against a potential invasion. She was raised in 1961, approximately 333 years later, and is now on display in a permanent restoration site in Stockholm, and that will be the WASA Museum. You can see this is in 1/44 scale, and this is kit A09256V. You can see the warnings, different languages, from Hornsby Hobbies, official product. And this is a 2020 release. Plus, this is a re-release. I'm going to show you guys the ends of the box. We get that same illustration with the scale, 1/44 scale, and I believe both ends of the box are the same. And looking at the other side, you can see the scale again. This is 486 millimeters, and it's got 229 pieces. And mold tools made in 1971. pack illustration by Brian Knight, 1971. Enjoy the nostalgia with AIRFIX vintage classics. In 1628, the Vasa disastrously keeled over and sank. That's was something I had read you earlier. And it looks like this comes with glue and paint. Let's see. Well, that could just be an advertisement. And there's nothing on the back. So, I'll tell you guys what. Why don't we take it over to the desk where there's more light and we'll get a chance to open up the box and check out this beautiful model. Okay, so this is the Vasa Museum website. Let me show you guys, or if you can't see it, I'll read you the address. Vasa, museet.se, and that's the Vasa Museet. I'm thinking that's museum. Welcome to the Vasa Museum. You can see the hours, the admission, and just a lot of information on this beautiful ship. Let's go ahead and show you the ship. You can see on the, I love that picture. Just absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's open the box up. And again, with the AIRFIX, they don't shrink wrap their models. They put tape on them. So let's get the tape off. Open up the box. And look at that. This is in 1/4/4 scale, so this is big. I love it. Look at the size of her. The bigger the ship, the better, because we can put in a lot of the detail. And a lot of the detail with this ship is going to be in the painting. Let's show you guys this first. And I can see this on the bottom. We got the vacuum form sails. These can be weathered up pretty nicely. They have a couple of ideas on what to do with the sails. Of course, I don't know if it'll be successful or not, but I have a few options. This is going to be a really fun model to build. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 10 sails altogether. You can see the ones that look like they go onto the mizzen mast. And the foremast. You see the mainmast ones. I think that would be one of them. It's nice because a lot of the times when you get the vacuum form sails, sometimes they're dented in and misshapen. I mean, it's easily fixable. You just use a hairdryer, not a heat gun, because this is very thin. And you don't want to just completely melt it away, but these are in pretty good shape. Let's see, what does that say? It says P.R. Lewis, WASA, 1628. And you can see that they are lettered on the back. Okay, why don't we go ahead and take a look at the ship herself. I'm dying to get into this beautiful hull. Actually, let's put the box to the side. Look at that. Now I don't know how this compares to the original model release. I would think the molding would be the same. I don't know if they made improvements to it or not. But I love the detail in this. Look at that. At the time of her launch in 1628, this was the most powerful naval vessel in the world. Or if not the world, very possibly in the Baltic. And all of the cannons, when the doors were open, they had this ornate. I think it was a lion's head on the underside, so when it was opened up, you could see the lion heads. Really nice. You can see the side of the ship, the starboard side. So I got a couple of different ideas actually on how to go about painting this. To get the texture of the wood, to bring it out, I'm not sure if I want to do the entire thing in a base coat of black and then just kind of build the layers on after that for the wood, or if I want to paint it the color that I would like it and then kind of put a wash on it. I'm not sure, but I'll do a video on the plan when we start the build. But it's absolutely beautiful ship. Alright, let's put this part aside for now. Let's show you guys the port side. Look at that. Alright, let's put this over here so it doesn't block the light. Love all that, those ornate features of the ship. Of course, the paint is gone. I mean, it's 1628. It's amazing that the ship today is in the condition that she's in. But they do have a model, a scale model, of what she looked like when she was launched in front of the ship. And I'm going to go by that model because the ship herself, there's no paint on it. It's fully restored, but it's all the wood. So I'll put up some pictures of the model that we're going to use for reference for this magnificent ship. And you can see when the sides go together, it's a pretty good ship. Pretty good size ship. You just line up the pins. And I just want to give you guys kind of like a size reference. So she's a pretty good size. Matter of fact, let me... Alright. So from the tip of the stern to the tip of the bow, she's 17 inches. So that's a pretty good size model. And you figure with the when all the sails are on and the masts are on, she's going to be pretty tall as well, probably over 17 inches. Alright, so that's the ship, the hull. Let's see, it looks like we have rigging in here. I apologize for that. Looks like we got 2 spools of rigging. And there is an awful lot of rigging. This one has way more. Alright, what's this? Looks like we have a black tree, black plastic. I'm not sure if those are something used to measure, units of measurement. We'll find out what this is in the instruction sheet. You can see the numbers that are on it. I hope you can see the numbers that are on it. Alright, let's take out a full sheet. I think this one has the base. You can see the base that she's going to rest on. And you can see the beautiful faceplate. The Royal Ship WASA, 1628. Again, it looks like we have the sail rigs. Looks like we have the masts. Some of the masts. Is that solid? Yeah, it looks like it's totally round. Hopefully the camera can pick it up. And we have the anchors. Let's see, we've got 4 anchors. And look at all the cannons. Now, on all the cannons that she was equipped to have, she did have 8 empty ports, because the cannons, the ship was made actually faster than the cannons could be manufactured. You can see all the cannon carriages. You can see the cannons. This is, like I said, this is going to be so much fun to detail out, because I never really did a ship before like this. This will be the first time, and this is going to be a very, very fun kit. Hopefully you guys are going to have as much fun watching as I do making it. Alright, so that's the first tree. And there are 2 large-sized trees in the bag. It looks like there are a few loose parts on the bottom that we'll get to in a minute. And you can see the crow's nests and the platforms that go below them. And let's check out this right off the bat. You can see the back of the ship. I'm trying to see where the ship got its name. Let's see. The nameplate. I'm having a hard time seeing without my glasses. Over here, I think, is where the king's initials should be. Gustav Adolf II. So we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna bring all this detail out, and we will, because this is gonna require a lot of detail work, but it's gonna be worth it in the end, because I think it's just gorgeous. Again, I hope the camera will pick that up for you guys. And you can see the little mounts, the structures that go on the sides of the aft end of the ship. I'm not really sure what these things are. Maybe they'll say it in the instructions. And you can see the little lifeboat. And we have a bunch of the, looks like, to hold the rigging. So that's nice that you can see the holes where the rigging will pass through. And it won't be easy, but it will be worth it at the end. It'll look fantastic. I hope it looks fantastic. You can see what looks like the aft deck, or the poop deck. And you can see the, I don't know if they call it the forecastle. The forecastle where the mizzen mast goes. I'm not sure what that's called on a ship like this. And you can see the deck with the grates to go below level. There is a bit of texture for the wood. So again, I'm not sure if I would do a base black and then dry brush the paint on, or do the color and do a wash after. But either way, I think it's going to come out nice. And you can see the radar. I'm kidding. They didn't have radar, but I'm not sure what these are. I think this is what goes up on the top in the back that has the crown on top, but we'll see in the instructions. And again, look at the little pieces that are going to hold the rigging. The underneath of the platforms, and the underside of the deck. It's a good sized ship. It doesn't have like a billion parts, like relative to the size of the ship, it shouldn't be that bad. It looks like the most is going to be the rigging, the parts for the rigging. That's going to be the most time consuming. That, and of course painting the back of the ship, the back and the sides of the back end. I'm trying to find, I didn't notice the cannon doors on this one, or the other one actually, unless that's what these are. Yeah, like I was telling you guys, they had lion's heads when the cannons, when the doors were open, and these would be red, and the lion's head was in gold. Now I'm trying to, I want to make sure you guys can actually see what that's supposed to be. Guess I got it upside down. But anyway, all the doors for the cannons are these pieces right here, and I guess you can see the little hinges where they're going to go, and these are lion heads. So this is all going to be painted red, each one of them, and it's going to be gold for the lion's head. And then we have, of course, the cannons. Now there's a couple of pieces that fell. Let's see. Yeah, just a couple of pieces that aren't really discernible. So, okay, that's all that's left. That's all there is for the parts. So let's go ahead, and I want to do the instruction sheet. Let's see. Looks like we have some. Oh wow! Look at that! Absolutely gorgeous. And these seem to be peel and stick stickers, not decals. They're not water slides. You can see the back flag. That's just, wow, that's really nice. And again, the beautiful colors in the Swedish flag. And I'm not sure where these are going to go, or these, but we'll see in the instructions. All right, so. Is that everything in here? Yeah, no more. No more decals. And it's got some information on the 144 WASA from AIRFIX. Fame comes to ships in different ways. Battles, long voyages of discovery, size, etc. But in the case of the 17th century Swedish warship WASA, it came in the form of a disaster and a recovery. Built in 1626, the 1,400-ton WASA was one of 4 ships constructed on the order of King Gustav II Adolf of Sweden. This was done to increase the power of his navy following the anxiety caused by the Polish king's plans to build a Baltic fleet to invade Scandinavia. In 1627, she was launched, and when fitted out, carried 64 bronze cannon weighing over 70 tons, with a complement of approximately 133 sailors and 300 soldiers. Disaster befell the WASA on August 10, 1628, in Stockholm Harbor at the beginning of her maiden voyage. A squall came, and the ship heeled over the port side, and as the list increased, water poured into the lower gun ports of the mighty ship, and she sank with colors flying. Attempts were made to salvage her, and a number of cannons were successfully raised in 1664 and 1665, but little else. There she would remain until 1954, when work began to locate the whereabouts of the ship. 5 years later, operations had searched an advanced stage of recovery, with the WASA being gently lifted from the seabed by means of 24 cables passed beneath the hull and supported on the surface by pontoons. Brought gradually to more shallow water, the WASA finally broke surface after 333 years on April 24th of 1961. Following a period in dry dock, the WASA was towed on a special platform to a more permanent site where restoration work could be undertaken, and the ship opened for viewing by the public. The ship originally carried some 13,000 square feet of cannons, and its dimensions were length 230 feet long including the bowsprit beam 38 feet 4 inches. The height was 170 feet and the draft was 15 feet 5 inches. And the rest are in different languages. Alright, so let's check out the instructions. And this is the assembly instructions. Study drawings and study drawings and practice assembly before cementing parts together. Carefully scrape paint from cementing surfaces. All parts are numbered. Paint small parts before assembly. To apply decals, cut the sheet as required and dip in warm water for a few seconds. Slide off backing into position as shown, and I don't think that calls for these because those look like peel and stick. Use in conjunction with box artwork. Not appropriate for children under 36 months of age. I should hope not, due to the presence of small detachable parts. Alright, let's go right to the instructions, and you can see we get a lot done in step 1. Let's see if the camera's going to actually focus for you guys. We've got the construction of the hull, and you can see the back of the ship. The backboard is going to go on, and you can see the front, and basically the hull design and construction is all set. When we move on to step 2, you can see we start to put the pieces on the deck. And some more detail on the back. You can see that piece I was referring to with the crown. And you can see the pole for the flag, and we start to put on those pieces on the aft end of the ship. And you can see all the way back to what looks like the rudder. Nice. Alright, now we start to have some fun with the cannon. You can see there quite a bit. And it looks like they give you the option of opening the doors and putting the cannons, having them peek out, or keeping the doors closed. And of course we're going to open the doors just like she was when she was launched. And you can see there the different color schemes, and you can see the cannons that are going to go on the top deck. And then we start the pieces that are going to hold the rigging. Nice. And then we go to the masts. You can see parts 7, 8, and 9. You can see the crow's nest and the platform halfway up. And the one in the back, the smallest one. And it looks like we got another one. I think that one's going to go way out in the front of the ship, way off the bow. And we put the mast that we just completed onto the ship, onto the hull. And we put the anchors on. And the nameplate that's going to go on the base. You can see the dinghy or the lifeboat. I'm not quite sure what that's called. And we got the mast, and you can see where the flags are going to go on. And we start the rigging. And this part, oh, that's what that black, the tree molded in black was. It's for the rigging. It looks like we're going to do the rat lines. It's a rigging machine. So you got the vertical threads, the horizontal threads, adjust in position C. So it tells you the rigging, and that's how to go about making it. Knot and thread in a hole post to lead out Z. You can see how it's looking like the rat lines are going to be formed. So I'm thinking that we're going to do those, then cut them out. Let's see. Pass the thread through the groove to lead out Z through notch 16, then back to Z, then to notch 17, and so on for the outer notches. On reaching notch 21, bring the thread back to the Z lead out hole and knot it. more on the rigging. Let's see, LH branch. Knot and thread the lead out hole Z, pass it through notch 0 or O, RH branch. Make it follow the opposite branch, LH branch, to notch 0, return to notch 0 of the RH branch, pass the thread around the branch and bring it out through notch 1, and so on up until notch 31. And this one on the bottom, using a paintbrush, coat the threads with liquid glue, and when it completely dries, cut the horizontal threads flush and vertical ends, then cut at the bottom as shown. Make the other shrouds, refer to the table, shroud table. So that can be kind of interesting. And it'll show you where they're going to go. The table for making shrouds. You can see all the figures, how they're going to go. The vertical notch, a number of vertical threads, the horizontal notches, a number of horizontal threads, and the start and position for each one. And you can see for C, it goes from C1 all the way to C9. And there's still a lot more rigging than that. These are just the rack lines, but I don't think it shows you anything else. Okay, and we got the color scheme on the back. We're going to need silver, copper, gold, gloss, bright red, matte blue, matte dark earth, matte black, matte white, and matte sand. I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to follow this, because what better reference than the WASA herself and the model at the WASA Museum. So we're going to go by that. We're not going to go by this. Incidentally, we did not get paint included in the kit. That was probably just a reference to what we would need to buy for the kit. But some of the models that I've shown you from AIRFIX, like the Titanic, they actually come with paint, but the WASA does not. So that is the color scheme. And again, I just love the flags. And again, these feel like more like a peel and stick. This is not going to go in warm water. And interestingly, I didn't see where all the stickers, where they're going to go. I know a lot of them are for the flags, but it doesn't really give a diagram of the decals where they're going to go. Unless I missed that. Let's see. Oh, looks like I missed this page. So we got more of the rigging. I knew there was a lot more. But I like how they show you the rigging. Yeah, I had missed a complete section. I'm sorry, I apologize. And we got the table of rigging. And you can see M, O, P, and N with the flags. And I still don't see where those other decals are going to go. You can see where we get the sails. I don't know if the sails, it looks like they want you to put the rigging on first and then put the sails on. And again, they're all lettered. And the painting of the sails make the model more realistic. We recommend that you paint the sails before cutting them out. Use color 103. Note, the bold lines on each sail show the line where it should be glued to the yard or spar. And that, I think, is everything. showed you this. And going through it, and this was the rigging unit, or the rigging tube. There it is. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that for you guys. So these are going to go around the masts, the platform, and the crow's nest. You can see on the top how it's going to look. Really nice. So the bigger ones, the platforms are going to have this part that are going to go on, and the smaller ones up the, I want to call them crow's nests. I'm not sure if that's what they are, but they're going to have these on it. So it's going to be very ornate, especially with the painting that we're going to do. And that is the WASA. This is going to be a really, really fun model to build. This will be the first ship that I ever made. I did make the, a couple years ago for Thanksgiving, I did make the Mayflower too, or the Mayflower. So I guess I kind of had some experience with making ships, but that one was really so tiny. I did weather the sails and paint the sails. I think the ship came out looking decent, but again, it was so small I really couldn't do all the stuff that I had wanted to. But this is going to be really nice. You can see the size. It's a relatively good sized ship, and again with the sails, it's going to be a really big model. And I can just see it finished. Hopefully it looks as good, the finished product, as it does what I have visioning in my head. But we'll see. So this will be really, really fun. You know, you guys who follow my channel, you know I just want to light everything. I'm wondering if there's any way I can get all the little torches and find places for that on this to make it look like it would at night, but I don't think she actually saw a night. Not on the surface of the water anyway. It was, let's see, it was after 4 o'clock on Sunday when she was put into the harbor. And it was in the summertime, so the daylight would have been a lot more. So she wouldn't have seen the darkness. But, you know, I just love lighting things. So we probably won't light it just because there was the only light sources on it were probably torches. But this is going to be a lot of fun to make. So my friends, this is the Swedish Warship WASA, and this is the AIRFIX. Again, they had brought the model kit back. This was originally vintage in the 90s, and they actually brought the model back. And again, I don't know if they made improvements to the molding. If you guys have the original kit and you're looking at this and you think this one looks better or the same, feel free to comment below. And as usual, I thank you for watching my videos, and I can't wait until we start this build. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.